Howdy, folks. Welcome back to the shed. Oh, share your screen with your audience. Click this button to share your. Oh, yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, fine. Yeah, right. Oh, yes. Another cold one, I'm afraid. Um, Looking at the temperature in here, we're in the 70s. Oh, that's good. Just get rid of that one. That's good. Uh, Hygrometer says 60% humidity, which isn't bad. President's XD Locomotive Shed, howdy. And Jake, hello. Definitely cold. Yeah, you're right, mate. Dino, a pleasure as always. Mr. Anthony Dodge, the model train outsider. Outsider. And Lee, hello, Lee. And who do we have right at the top? We had Tony. Hello, Tony. Nice to see you. Christopher's Hobby Blog. Hey, how are you? Yes, rather a cold one, but do we let that deter us? No, we don't. I reverted 2 weeks here to the DCC running that I did. So I've got the Class 31 pulling some unusual coaches, which will be coming around. That's right, I think. Is that right? No, this side. That's right. I'm reversed. And on the other side, the old spam can pulling the Southern Stock Mum and Son Train Rail fans. That's Tammy and Ray. Hello there. Can't stay for long. You're heading for Amherst. Yeah, I understand that. Getting ready to snow here. Oh, that's not so good. It's bright, but it's still cold today here. Andy, have I got a big boy? Richard's got a big boy. I don't. Richard does. Things like that only come out in the summer when we have more temperate climate. So yes, I do have a big boy of sorts. It belongs to Richard. It was made by MTH, company called Mike's Train House, which is now all more or less defunct. They still make a little O gauge stuff, but they sold off a lot of their tooling to Scale Trains. So we'll be watching Scale Train's website to see if anything else comes out from them. But they do own all of the tooling. Who's Richard? Richard is my son, who shares this layout with me. So there you go. Dragon Lover 68. That's Connie. Hello, Connie. How are you? For those that don't know, Connie does a live stream at 5 o'clock. Mostly for modelers and painters. Excellent show they always put on. Herself and William Fenris. Usually a great show, lots to see on it. If scale modelling is your thing, always worth a look in. News this week. Let's start with Amherst. One of the biggest shows in America is on at Amherst, Connecticut. It's Boston sort of area. For those that don't know the anatomy of the United States very well. Definitely Eastern Seaboard. And 2-day show yesterday and today. So those of you that follow Heath, who is Humanity Junction, there's James, Dundas Model Railroad. Good morning, James. Those of you that follow Heath will know that he's been walking around Amherst showing all the bits and pieces. He'd be great as a security man because he'll walk up to people and say, "Who are you and what are you doing here?" So these people get caught in the headlights. There's March West Junction Andy. Hello, Andy. Nice to see you. And people get caught in the headlights, and some of their responses is, diamond. absolutely. Really funny. Um, but then they usually spill, how long have you been doing this? Yeah, well, I started when I was 5 years old, as we all did, I suppose. But there you go. He's been doing a great service there, and that's been very enjoyable to watch. Those of you that watch Anthony Dodge and Artie, I did catch part of the show last. Well, I watched it this morning, Anthony, and Artie's been having a little trouble with the American authoritative way of doing things. Um, it seems to be mostly uh, a little self-inflicted in that he hasn't been carrying his passport on him, which would solve a lot of the problems. So that was the gist I got of it. But it seems that he's stumbled from one crisis to the next. Everything from getting Uber taxis and then dropping him off at the wrong place and so on and so forth. And the bank's saying, "Oh well, we're not going to give you, let you spend this amount of money, and we'll restrict how much you." It's one crisis after another. Woodthorpe International. There's Colin. Hello, Colin. Nice to see you, man. So yeah, those who've been following Artie would have seen him at Amherst yesterday in various live streams. You've also got Trackside Mike, who's there, who is the other half of, it's usually Trackside Mike and James. Great double act. Unfortunately, one of which is down at Amherst. So obviously Mike's having a good time. And obviously Sparky 107 is there as well. Off Track Monday. That was the phrase I was looking for, James, but it didn't quite aided brain grinds. Yeah. So as I say, I'm running today class 31 with some unusual coaches, sort of research division coaches, and the old spam can, which is coming behind me yonder, with some nice malachite green. I've said it correctly, not malachite, malachite green coaches. So I'll start off with those, and then I'll get the electrics to run a little later. Nice to see everybody in. Sodor Dandaman, good afternoon. Nice to see you. James has got more track installed. Those of you that have been following James at Dundas Junction Model Railroad would know that he has now got the bench work complete and is started on the track, which is no mean feat because it's quite a large layout. But James is well on top of it because I think he knows in his head what he wants. So that should come out really very well. Obviously, Colin is doing his own Engage, which is it's going to be massive. Even in Engage, it's going to be massive. Turntable installed, I see. That's good. I only have a manual turntable, but it suits my needs, as I say. So, yes, as you can see, nothing's derailed yet. Touch wood. I have my coffee right here with me. Yeah, there's nothing like a big cock on a Sunday morning. My sister got this mug for me. I don't know what she was trying to tell me. I'll leave you to figure that one out. Cheers, everybody. That hit the mark. Sodor Dandaman, I'm working on a small Engage Thomas demo layout at the minute. Is this a demo layout you will be taking to model train shows, perhaps? And as Backman have the rights to it, these days. Yeah, uh, I gather then that they do engage as well. Ray Bertelson, good morning, Ray. Nice to see you, man. Uh, Hi, chat. Laned all over the world. Okay, Lee, that's fine. Uh, yes, I know Ray has been in some of the streams at Amherst. Obviously, being live streamed, you see all the names come up, and it's nice to see everybody paying attention. And it's a massive show. For those of you that haven't seen the Amherst, there will be more footage of it today, probably coming from Heath. So if you keep your eye on Humanity Junction, at some time or another today, he will be going live, and it's worth seeing because from what he told me, it's usually used as a cattle market, not your average cattle market, which is just a dirty shed. This is like pure concrete with posts, a massive, massive area. Looking down it with the lights on, it looks like the time tunnel. I mean, it's a massive complex, and there are four buildings. So there is no comparison to things like Worley, which now defunct, was our biggest exhibition. This it's not in the same league. This is just absolutely mega. So yes, a lot of envy there. I'd love to go and see that. Who knows what the future brings? It'd be lovely to go across there. But looking at the problems Artie's had with the American system, uh, it's discouraging. Let's put it that way. But we'll see. Here, but he's wiring. But wire my update video on Alan Melwood drive layout in the hobby room. Okay, Lee, that's fine. It may go to shows, but we're working on mainly YouTube. Backman holds the license for N, 00 and 009, and Garden Scale. Lionel just gave up their O gauge license, so Backman may well take that up. Yeah. Well, it keeps the name out there, so yeah, why not? Big boy off Hornby and getting a Backman 70. Well, the Backman 70 is a fab model. It's a tad overpriced for what you actually get. Hasn't got fantastic hauling power. Adequate, but not brilliant. So, I mean, compared to something like a Backman Class 47, it couldn't pull the skin off a rice pudding, but it looks the part. We do have, Richard's got a Backman 70 in Colas scheme, and it's a fabulous looking model. I've run it on here a couple of times. Hope you use my new link that I shared, Jake. Oh, okay. Tom's Smoking Train Layout, Amherst Railroad Club in Springfield, Massachusetts. Yeah. So I was right about the area, Springfield, Massachusetts. I know they call it Amherst, but do try and pop into Heath's live stream, and you will just see the massive expanse that this exhibition is. I think it's been going a good long time now, a solid long time. I believe it started at something like Harvard University, and it has just morphed into this huge exhibition, which is fabulous. Would not get Backman, not a fan of them. Yeah, but I am. Everyone's got a right to their opinion. I would put Backman over Hornby any day because you know what you're getting. And if you don't get what you think you should, it goes back and you get another one, or you get your money back. No quibbling with Backman. I've had obviously models with problems, didn't even have the bill. I sent it to Backman. They fixed it and sent it back to me, and it didn't cost me a penny. Only the money it took to actually get it to them. So I've got no problems with Backman whatsoever. And you can get spare parts for Backman, which is more difficult with Hornby. There it is. That's my take on it. As I say, everyone's got a right to their opinion. Hornby and Old Triang, yeah, but if that floats your boat, that's fine. Obviously, these are both Hornbys, so I'm not going to scream too loudly, but the Class 85 over here is a Backman, and the Class 86 over there is a Helljan. So if I like the model, I'll jolly well go out and buy it. I don't care who it's by, and then I'll judge it as it comes in. But most of the Backmans I've bought, yeah. Hi, Tuna Doc. Oh, there's Dwight Curley. Hello, Dwight. Mr. Tuna Can himself. Nice to see you, man. I believe you've also got a live stream at 7. Is that correct, Dwight Curley? Well, it's 7 o'clock in this country. Unfortunately, it's the same time as John JMC goes live, but there's only so much time in the day. I'm Steam, not Dirty Diesels. Oh, you sound like somebody else. Somebody who shall remain nameless. Yeah, well, I grew up with diesels like that. I grew up with the sound, the speed, and the power. As soon as you see that at a young age, a Class 31 starting up, or dare I say it, a Deltic, which was absolutely ear-shattering. Oh, I know that name. Yeah, I'll bet you do. Yes, okay, Anthony, yeah. Enough said. Yes, dirty, stinky diesels. Oh, dear. Yes, well, I grew up with diesels. Been born in 63. By 67, when I would have been 3 years old, the steam was gone. And all you saw then was at King's Cross was Class 31s, Class 47s, Class 55s, and odds and ends from the others. So that was the mainstay of what I used to see. And of course, you go with it. You grow up and grow out. And the 31s have always been there. They're still there. They're still running on the main line. 47s are still running on the main line. You don't see Deltics much because there was only ever 22 of them. So does that make it a Class 62? Another 30 driven 2. Yeah, I saw what you did there, Anthony. Yeah. I did actually get a cab ride in a Class 31 from King's Cross to Cambridge. My brother-in-law, Tony Jackson, was a guard, and I got my ticket. So I didn't travel for nothing, but we was up with the driver, and they sat me in the first man's seat, which was a very square looking pedestal seat with a sort of vinyl covering on it, quite padded. But when this thing took off and off it went, it was snaking all the way over the track. And every joint that you hit in the track, you felt it through the seat of your pants. It was a bone shaker, an absolute bone shaker. And I remember thinking at the time, there's Trackside Mike. Hello, Mike. How's Amherst? Well, I know you're obviously enjoying it. But the Class 31 was an absolute bone shaker. And I thought, how could anybody of an age where you can drive these things endure that amount of discomfort through the seat of your pants. It was really, really rough going. And this thing was snaking as wide as the track would let it. So there was lots and lots of play there. And every track joint you hit, bang, 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 bang. It was uncomfortable. But of course, tremendously exciting for me because I was only a youngster. How old was I? I don't know, 9, 10, something like that. It may have been even later than that. But it was a bone shaker. So there's not much to compare it to. We rode an old German N-car train in 2004. That was a bone shaker, like a roller coaster, but bouncing side to side, up and down. Exactly right. And the noise in there was incredible. Not only did you have the noise of the prime mover behind you, but the noise of it going across the rails, across the joints in the rails, which hit you like a pile driver. Bang! You felt it right up your spine. So they were, in essence, really, really uncomfortable. So when I look at a Class 31 now, as I often do, um, it harks me back to actually travelling on one. And yeah, it was exciting. I'm glad I did it, but I'm not sure how much my spine could have taken of that. It's a good thing I was young, actually. But for all those old drivers out there, it must have been a big improvement over the old steam trains, which were drafty, hot, dirty. Um, yeah, so they talk about stinky diesels, but you didn't smell much of it. It was all behind you. There's Delft Junction Pete. Hello, Pete. And did I see Alan Reynolds is there? Hello, Al. Nice to see you. Drove a black 57XX Pannier. That reminds me, where's Chris? Must be having a lay in. Class 37 and 2 never BR classified diesel shunters. All good. So I suppose driving it takes your mind off the discomfort that you're feeling. But yeah, and of course, most of the time, any fireman on a tender locomotive wouldn't have just been sitting there. They would have been off into the tender shoveling coal, which was no mean feat because you'd probably have to shovel about half a ton of it over a good length of time. Just got a 9F. Can't run it on my layout. Too many bad bends. Blimey, that must be tight, Pete. Usually a 9F can run on radius 2. It'll be a bit of a struggle, but it's got a blind driver in the middle to necessitate. But then the real thing had a blind driver. Need to adjust a bad bend going into my turntable. I thought you'd done that, James. Joyce hates the diesel smell. Rode an old rickety Alex train from Nuremberg to Munich. We sat behind in the coach behind the loco and the exhaust rifle. Yeah. Yeah, I think we've all been there. Tell you the truth, I actually like the diesel smell from the railways because it seemed to be that much more different than the stuff that was being digested by the cars. It had a bit different smell. I am not sure if they put any additives in it, but I remember the smell oh so well. Sitting on the platform 1 at King's Cross, watching these things go in and out, and that was what I took away from it. The overwhelming power. You read the little sign on the side which told you it had 90 miles per hour top speed, and the weight was something like 119 tons or 109 tons on a Class 31. when you consider that a Class 55 Deltic is only 102 tons, you're still talking about 100 tons. And when these things move and the amount of energy it took to get that and the train moving, incredible power come across to me. There's Graham Fulston. Hello, Graham. Graham Fulston. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean that most sincerely, folks, for those of you that remember Huey Green. Hi, everyone. So I just popped in, raking up some old thatch from the roof. Yes, Graham, I remember you saying that your roof is being rethatched. That is a very costly venture, not to be sniffed at. So, but the alternative is a rotten roof, and we don't want that. So it's great to see you, Graham. I'm running a Class 31, which we were just pontificating about, which has got some RTC coaches behind it, and I can't remember what this new coach from Hornby is. It's got whited out windows, and I thought it was really rather attractive, so I got that. And on the other way is the spam can with the malachite green coaches. So it's great to see you. I don't know if you've had your eye operation yet. It's that one, yeah. But for those of you that don't know, Graham's got a problem with an ingrowing eyelash, which really does affect the vision. It's very, very painful. I mean, the worst I've had is a sty, which is equally painful, but there's a liquid cure that you can put on it, which will make it go away. But in Graham's case, it needs operating on. So I don't know if have you had that done, Graham, or is it still coming up? And if you have had it done, it will probably take some time to recuperate. Anyway, it's great to see you here. I'm glad you stopped in. This is my little layout. As much as you can squeeze into a 12 by 8 shed. But nice little heater pumping away in the corner. And it distracts me from everyday life. It's nice just to get away and speak to friends and run some trains. What could be better? 1 my time, James, so I guess it's 2 your time. Yeah, that's Dwight's live stream tonight, as I understand it. Sodor Dandaman has had a cataract surgery to both eyes. Can see perfectly now. Need glasses to read and do models, but otherwise that's fine. Yeah, my father had cataract surgery where they literally replaced the lens of the eye. Fabulous what they can do these days. But yeah, I remember that. They have to sort of stitch it on with dissolvable stitches, and then you put these different coloured dyes or cure-it-alls into your eye. Oh, because I had to do it for him. Yeah. You're welcome. Yeah, for those of you that haven't seen Graham's layout, it's well worth a look. And Graham's a pretty good engineer. Yeah. Can build his own kit cars. Don't think there's much that Graham can't do if he puts his mind to it, and if the information is available to him. I think Graham can just about solve pretty much anything that comes his way, which is why watching Graham is quite compulsive, actually. Yeah. What's Graham up to today? Not yet. Operation is in a couple of weeks. Oh, well, I know you'll be hankering after that because that must be uber painful. as I say, the only thing I've had similar to that is a sty. It's not similar, but it was quite painful. You're looking through a fog of water all the time, where your eyes trying to make sense of the world. And I remember having this particular sty when I was doing an electronics exam, and it obviously didn't matter because I struggled on literally with one eye, and it was the um, it was the part of the exam where you do the practical, the soldering and stuff like that, and literally I did it on one eye. Um, Still managed to do really well on it. I think there was a distinction in it for me, but um, it was I was hampered. Got a spam can coming next week, second hand but good nick. Ah, brilliant. Okay, love a spam can. To tell you the truth, Graham, I like the earlier ones, like this one. This is Blackmore Vale, which I've done some work to, some big work to, and it's the older version with the floating pony truck under the cab. I don't like what Hornby did with the Cartasi axle type thing. Um, they did it across the range because literally they cheaped out and couldn't be bothered to find a better solution. Well, it's the better of two evils. No, it was the worst of two evils. Um, by all means, do it on the A3 and the A1s and the A4s, which actually had a Cartazzi axle, but not the rest of it. LMS didn't, Southern didn't. They all had a proper floating bogey. So I don't get that kind of thing. It was a cheap way of doing it, and they just failed miserably there. But when Bachmann did their V1 or V2, they had a bogey within a box. So there was movement there, and they got around it that way. But I hope it's good to you, Graham. Right, let's just, I'll move my camera so you can see a little more of the action. Here we go. Right. There. How's that, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, here comes class 31. Well, hey. And then, oh, just in time goes the stand can. Now, Graham, what I might do is get the old Bachmann TC out, the 4TC and the 4CEP, and I'll see if I can run them together next week. Leighton Junction has got new arrivals, that's how. Oh, there's another message. And a swan. And yet another one. New video with a missing coach. Ladies and gentlemen, the other bit of news that has come out this week is that Cavalex have finally got their Class 56 out, and it really looks like it is a first-rate model. So I'm not sure how much these things cost. I think they'll be in the 200s, somewhere like that. But it is an absolutely superb model, and I haven't heard one bad thing about any of it. Not in its running, not in its livery, not in its appointments, not in its sound. I know there's a few funny things with the function keys, but nothing that can't be fixed with a lock programmer or just using it the way the manufacturer wants you to. So that's superb, and it's coming out, or it's out. Maybe Al is finding his mojo again. Yes, well, you know what it's like, Anthony. It does come and go. I know Ben at Eagle Creek, I think he had a bit of a torrid time and just decided, enough's enough. I don't think I'm really old, Graham. I think it's just maturity. Oh, dear. Right, let me grab the camera for a minute. I'll just give you a quick once over of the layout. This is sort of the work area where all the tools and bits and pieces are. We've got some sidings here where my PC is. And the two main lines running over there. We have some electric lighting, 4 aspect signals. So as you will go past, you will see the signal change to red. And as per prototype, it will then change to yellow and double yellow and green. I've got that one on a fast timer just so it can keep up with what I'm running. The next signal is over yonder. There is said turntable, which is an old Hornby one with all the mechanics pulled out of it, with a fairly small signal box there. The second signal is over there by the old clay dries. And as you can see, it will just about catch green as the train gets to it, and then goes across the sensor, and we're off to red. Moving further around, we've got, this is what I call the network rail yard. So you've got a Pico doodah there, engine shed, with a diesel stage there and a transformer building. There's a couple of Al's lavids there. A few electric lights which do work, but yeah, you know. Then there's another signal box over yonder, and then we're moving into the station area. I hope you're seeing this okay. The station is the one at, well, it's on the Great Central Railway. I can't remember which station, but it's a pretty close approximation. And then moving around, we're almost back to the PC again. Here is my little controller. There's one of those and one of those for the 2 tracks. There's a quad pole switch there, changing over to DC and DCC. And I can also reverse what I use on DC for which line. So I can use this one for the outside line, and by hitting that switch over yonder, I can switch these 2. Just so this one's a little more mobile if I want to do shunting. And of course, the NCE power cab. And I've also got a pair of these, which I'm sure you will know what they are. Triangle bell signaling units. So there we are, ladies and gents. Let's pop you over here. How's that for a view? Did I see Robert? Oh, so that would be RGJ Trains. Hi, Rob and Grace. And Smallwood Junction, that's Paul and Paris. Hello there. Nice to see thee. So this is my humble little layout. any questions in its operation or building, I am more than happy to spill the beans. While I smoke a crafty one. Oh, and there's Trevor. Trevor Vial, hello. Nice to see you. And Flymo Chairman 1. Hiya, Adam. Nice to see you, buddy. Oh, trains, kits, you know how it is. Yeah, the breath of fresh air one. And there's Donegal Dad. Hello, Mark. Nice to see you. Just running a few gentle trains and chewing the fat. Yes, indeed. Yeah, well, you don't like to encourage it, but it's just a bit of a hangover, I'm afraid. Yeah, nice to see you, Robert. Great to see you back in action. I hope the foot's healing up even better. And I hope it don't stop you from getting back into the action. Nice to see the Class 60s running well. Here comes the spam can. And Leicester Station, Gary. Hiya, Gary. I didn't know you wore glasses, Dwight. Still have problems with the foot. I can see the dot again, but you can get around okay. Okay. Can you actually drive with that foot that way, Robert? Oh, yeah, the surveyors, Anthony. Yeah, they've just given up the ghost. They're doing a bit of an Arctic. They're face down like a lizard. Sean, Pacific Railroad. Hello, Sean. How's sunny California? Yes, it's okay, but the heel can hurt. Oh, thanks, Gary. That's really kind of you, man. Here's a coffee with a big cock on it. Cheers, everybody. I missed my podiatrist last week. There's going to be trouble. Whoa. Forgive my ignorance, Flymo. Is that a foot doctor? A podiatrist? Class 60 EWS did a wobbly and stopped, but it was one of the drive shafts that disengaged. Oh, well, that's a relief, Robert. Thanks, Rick. That's very kind of you. Yeah, Pete, they're I think it's RTC livery, which is Research Technical Centre, I believe. The other plain grey and blue one is it's a stop movement coach, and that's a fairly new one from Hornby. Blimey, everybody's beating it up today with YouTube. Professional foot look after. Oh, I see. Yeah, podiatrist, a foot doctor. Yeah, you get something painful like a corn. That's not funny. It's like having a permanent stone in your shoe. What am I using for a camera? It is a Hewlett Packard. I'll read you the number on the back, Dwight. It's a Hewlett Packard HP 320 FHD webcam. Rated at 5 volts, 500 milliamps, made in China. Yeah, it's just on a 1 meter lead, which gives me enough that I can plonk it around the layout and give you folks a better view of the layout rather than looking at my ugly mug. Are the rumours true about Beckman being in trouble? I very much doubt it. I haven't heard any such rumours, but don't know. If there are rumours to that effect, I don't know where they've sprung from. Went to the local model shop and bought some new stuff for the end to end. We do need to support them, do we not? Yes, we do. My local train shop is a shop in Stevenage in Hertfordshire, and it's called KR Models. They are open Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from, I believe, 10 o'clock in the morning until 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon. And yeah, great shop. Obviously, a little more expensive than you get online, but it's worthwhile pursuing our local shops lest we lose them. Much speculation going around since Worley and Hattons. Well, Worley was sort of waiting to happen because nobody was taking it up. Hattons overstretched themselves, didn't know which way to go, couldn't split the company apart because it was too intermingled, and they decided to call it a day before they collapsed. Obviously, it's still a topical conversation, and there's I've no problem having the conversation as long as it isn't stilted in one particular direction. Oh, this is all going to crash. It's all going to burn. No, it isn't. And there's Brian. Hello, Brian. You remember Class 31s? Here's one coming from behind you. With some natty coaches and a spam can with some malachite carriages behind it. Yeah, got the point I needed, and it was cheaper than Rouse to Sheffield with no post. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's no denying that, Dan. I think going up against the likes of Bachmann and using their own parent company against them was not a good move. Okay, later, Lee. Small shop near me is closed due to retirement. Yeah, the ravages of time, I'm afraid, Colin. All the scare. All the scaremongering is YouTube trying to get views, yeah, or those that use YouTube trying to get views. There is an element of clickbait in it, and I'm sorry, I don't bite on it anymore. I just ignore. Anthony, back when I was a toy collector and ignored the model trains, I could hear the model train guy saying the hobby will be dead in 20 years. That was in the 80s and 90s. Yeah, it's the same old thing, time and time again. Hello, Wesley. Nice to see you. There's a train going past you right now, and another one coming t'other way. Nothing wrong with your brain, Robert, I can tell you. No prob, Sean. It's small, but serviceable. Bit like me, really. Barely serviceable. Yeah, sorry about the personnel there. They're a bit drunk. So we just leave them to sleep it off. Local model shop is 10 minutes away. Yeah, I suppose my local model shop is about the same. KR Models in Stevenage. That's if I jump on the bike. If I want to walk it, it'd be about 4 miles. Just use my amazing looks, wonderful charm, and offer of free drugs to get the viewers. Oh dear. And a ready wit. You forgot that one. Oh, by the way, for those of you that want to see a piece of actual rail, let me just show you this. There we go. That there is a cross section of about 3/4 of an inch of real rail, real flat bottom rail. There's a few other bits and pieces there from like fuses from the cabinets and things like that. English electric signs, rectifier transformers, Cornish Riviera Express. I know where that spot is actually. That's down near Teignmouth in Devon. And the bit you see just to the top right hand corner would be Dawlish. And there's another one up there, the other side of the clock. The Flying Scotsman. Stop and sound horn before entering. Right, let me pop you down. There we go. Yeah, it's the only trouble I have with Engage. It is a bit small. Always thought that was a mutant horseshoe. That I have so much to learn about trains. You had a lot. What did you have a lot of, Sean? Oh, of rain. And now it's sunny. I can't imagine California having rain. Isn't that what they call the Sunshine State, or is that one of the other states? What did Rick say? He's doing good. Well, that's very encouraging. The better we do, the better we feel. Beans are beans for every meal. There's Tim Maslin. Hello, Tim. Just thought I'd run a little Class 31 and a spam can. The 31 should be appearing behind you. It's behind you any second now. And go. A section of 245-pound flat bottom rail. Nice one. Yes, you'd be amazed how a 3/4 inch slice really does weigh. That whole thing up there weighs somewhere over about £5. It's only a slither, but it really does give you an idea of the density and weight of these things. Went to Queensland, sunshine close, and it had a storm. Well, that's your luck, isn't it, Robert? Yeah, full-size trains are heavy, and that was part of the attraction. When you actually saw these things up close, the noise, the power, it does fill up the senses somewhat. And of course, the smell, which I know Joyce obviously doesn't like the diesel smell, but you put all of the three senses together, and it really is powerful kung fu. There was a craze making anvils out of section of rail for a while. Yeah, quite a weight. Yeah, it is. And I don't think they'd skimp on the quality of the steel either. When it comes to rail, that's £245 a yard. In the rail length, in 245 flat bottom rail, and the network is replaced slowly with £295 rail. Yeah, well, the heavier the rail, the better it will be, I gather. Right, how are we doing for time, boys and girls? We've got 3 minutes. Oh, the smell of steam trains lingers for days after it's been. Yeah, right across your washing with all those soot and cinders. Right, ladies and gentlemen, let me just smoothly drag you over here to the top of yonder PC. There we are. I've adjusted. That's great. It's absolutely fabulous to see everybody. I see Dave Swindon Junction has just notified me that he's gone live. So I will move aside for Dave Swindon Junction. Feel free to trot across there. Dave should be running some trains, and it's always interesting to see what he's up to. Thanks everybody for coming. It's always great to have your company. Without your company, well, what would a live stream be without the main players? So thanks everybody. Have a great rest of your day and the rest of the weekend. Be good during the week, and don't take any chances. Anthony, when you speak to Artie, tell him get stuffed. No, don't tell him that. Just wish him all the best, and I hope his stay in America is a little smoother than it hitherto has been. So, there's Tom Houston. Hello, you're just in time to say goodbye. Oh, parting is so sweet. Never mind. There's always catch up. particularly on chips. But I digress. That's another story. Thanks everybody for coming in. I'll move aside now and give Dave the stage. Once again, thanks for coming. Be good, and I'll catch you hopefully next Sunday with another thrilling installment. Adios, amigos.